Hello, I'm Reese. I'm joined by Mr. Questlove.
How you doing?
Do you want to talk about the project that you're here with today?
Yes, I'm here to push my new project, which is called Sly Lives, aka The Burden of Black Genius.
Gotcha. Well, this is not your first foray into documentary filmmaking.
No.
Can you, I guess, kind of talk about why you think the documentary genre works so well with telling stories about music?
If given a choice between like a biopic or a documentary, I mean, of course, with biopics, you sort of have artistic license to bend and shape, and kind of a little dangerous with like revisionist history and that sort of thing. Not to say that you can't do the same with documentaries, but
Yeah.
kind of documentaries are about something that happened in the past. Sometimes it's about things that happen in the present, as they're going on. But, for me, just I've always been obsessed with just storytelling and figuring out how things work and how the sausage is made.
Gotcha. Why did you want to tell the story of Sly and the Family Stone?
I kind of joke that this project chose me. We were mid-editing Summer of Soul, and
So this has been going on for a minute now.
oh, dude, like I'll say in the summer of 2020, we were editing the Sly footage, and I just casually said to my editor and producer, I was like, well, Sly doesn't know this, but in 10 days, his life is totally going to turn upside down. And I was like, man, somebody really needs to tell that story. Like, what happens to Sly the day after Woodstock? Like, that's the story I want to see. And less than 24 hours later, Common randomly calls me and says, hey, man, I saw in Variety that you're doing that Black Woodstock movie. Sly's in it, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, I have the life rights to Sly. You think you'd be into that type of thing? And I was like, yo, dude, I just... yeah, and I called him up like, yo, y'all never going to guess. The Sly's up for grabs. And so literally, I just feel like it chose us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a perfect storm of everything that came together.
Absolutely, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, since we're at Audible, it is we've been talking a lot about kind of like the audio format, and I was curious because you've narrated a few audiobooks yourself. You are music, like you truly. So I was curious, kind of why you think being here at Sundance works for that, works for telling stories about music, works for like the audio format.
Man, you know what? I will say that during the pandemic, probably more than any time that I could remember, just the using the Audible app, and like I went to Jesus overdrive with it. Like I was quarantining on a farm, kind of 45 minutes to an hour north of Manhattan, depending on how much of a law-abiding citizen you are behind your wheel. So I could say that during that period, especially when like it was risky to go outside and all those things, and people were afraid to. Probably the thing that I did the most is I clocked in so many hours just driving, just for fun. I'm like, well, okay, I got 5 hours to kill. Let me drive up to Woodstock and
Why not
see what's up there.
watch trees go by?
Yeah, and literally I would just listen to audiobooks and podcast, and so I became somewhat obsessed with just with doing with listening to stories.
Gotcha. Well, I was gonna say, Summer of Soul for me was like a big history lesson, and that like genuinely inspired me to like do more research because I was like, oh, I did not know this story. So I was curious if, for anyone watching this, are there any audiobooks, are there any podcasts, anything like that you would like them to check out to maybe inspire that same research?
See, I'm weird with my podcast choices. I like comedy podcasts because I need a dose of silly in my life.
Yeah.
I'll say right now it's a tie between, Conan's podcast is my favorite.
Really funny.
And I'm totally obsessed with Seth Meyers and the Lonely Island podcast. So, because they're going to break down like how things got made and all those things, and they're having fun while doing it. As far as books are concerned, pretty much like my jam is a lot of mental health and self-help books. So Brianna Wiest is one of my favorite authors. She wrote The Mountain Is You, and that book like saved my life, especially like right after the Oscars, where maybe or maybe not, I was sort of parallel with that Sly Stone domino of avoiding self-sabotage and that sort of thing. But, like listening to Gay Hendricks, Brianna Wiest, also love, Richard Rudd, listen to a lot of like the Gene Keys, just a lot of those types of books. Like I first thing in the morning, listen to it, I sleep to it. Neville Goddard, like I'm just obsessed.
So I was going to say you're a true fan.
Oh, absolutely. Like I will clock in. I will clock in at least about 4 hours a day just listening to. Yeah, I mean.
No, you have me beat.
Well, I mean, because I need to. There's nothing normal about this particular journey, or this particular. And it's not a woe is me tiny violin thing, but it's just it's a path that many don't choose, and sometimes you need to be in a place where you can have a restorative place of calm.
Truly decompress.
Yeah, and I do it a lot with audiobooks.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you were talking about some of the ones that you take in that you listen to. I also wanted to talk about you lending your voice, and, like, you've written forwards. I was curious kind of how you choose what you'll lend your voice to, like literally narrating, because I imagine that's, from just talking to you right now, it seems like you have very particular interests in what you want to be involved in.
Yeah, well, about 2 years ago, Macmillan got word of my audiobook obsession and offered me my own imprint. So in tribute to Prince, I have the Auwa, that's AUWA, Auwa books. And pretty much like I'm using that platform to also elevate stories that I'm interested in. Our first book was Sly's memoir, Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again, which was really successful. Not to mention other like side projects, like I teamed up with the good folks at Higher Ground, the Obamas, to do the Wonder of Stevie podcast to show like why those 5 records in the 70s was his magnum opus. And for me, I like telling music stories and finding a human element inside those music stories that people might not be aware of.
Gotcha. Are there any other music stories that you would still like to tell?
Yeah, there's that I'm allowed to announce right now. Well, I mean, I'll say that we're 70% finished the Earth, Wind, and Fire documentary right now.
No way.
Yeah. So there's the Earth, Wind, and Fire documentary. There's 3 other projects that we haven't officially announced yet, but we're also in the middle of that. So, yeah, I'll say that the floodgates open right after Summer of Soul.
Gotcha.
And it's like a kid in a candy store, like, I'll do that and that, and the other. I don't recommend to anyone else taking on
so many
3 documentaries. Because literally doing Earth, Wind, and Fire, Sly Stone, and the Saturday Night Live documentary at the same time
that's a lot.
Was taxing.
But I imagine that was honestly probably so much fun to come through archival footage and all that kind of jazz.
Right now, I'm in the, like, and I know people throw around, like, passion project.
Yeah.
But, like, if you know anything about me, pretty much, like, music's my wheelhouse. And so these things are just, like, things I would do for free. Or even before Lauren Michaels gave me the SNL music project, like, I've spent my lunch hours at 30 Rock on their database looking at old episodes, like on their computers during my lunch breaks and stuff. So, now it's like, oh, I get to make a living doing what I would do for free anyway, and that's what
The best
passion
of
is.
both, yeah, genuinely the best of both worlds. And the last thing I kind of wanted to end on was you say that you work on a lot of projects at once. I was curious if you do the same thing with the art that you take in. Are you reading multiple books at the same time? Are you listening to multiple albums, like pausing, going back?
Yeah, I will say that probably the one thing I'm trying to undo that I'm known for is just the multitasking thing. Let's say before Summer of Soul, I probably had 16 occupations, like literally the podcast, teaching at NYU, scoring commercials and movies, doing the Roots DJing, writing books, like literally 16 jobs. And then, too much of a good thing is not a good thing. So right now I'm like whittling it down to a normal 5 jobs.
A normal 5 jobs.
A normal
yeah.
5
Just a
jobs.
regular multi-hyphenate.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and chatting.
Thank you
I'm
for having
truly
me.
so excited for this because I cannot say enough that Summer of Soul genuinely I was like, I need to do so much more research. And if you hadn't made that, I probably would never have known any of that.
I didn't know it either.
Yeah,
Like, I was discovering with you as we were making it.
No,
So,
wonderful. Thank
yeah.
you so much.
Thank you.
And congrats.
Appreciate it. Thank you.